Good day, Steph. I always have to wait that second before it's time to record, and it's so annoying because impatient. So usually, right? And you were my first reading for the week. I actually picked you out just based on the energy that I was feeling at the time. I got inspired, so that's exciting. I can't wait to see where this goes because I've done the Synastry a million times, like in general, but I've never done it the way that I got inspired to do it when I tap into your energy. So I usually pick a today. I usually pick a theme for the week, and it looks like this is going to be it's going to be reorganized and recollect in the 4D. That's going to be the theme for this week, right? But I was going to not pick a card or put this down under because it'll navigate all the readings and the videos I do for the rest of the week based upon that theme. But I was not going to because I noticed that a tab from my binder from my little fake school I made myself to teach myself things that I could integrate into my consciousness and then teach to you guys. A tab fell out, and the tab says Goddess Initiation. Now I have oh, I don't have it over here where I can just show you what we're doing. Yes, I do because I moved all my books over here. Hold on. Because this might be, I see it. This might be significant to something for you. Don't look at my pile back there. I have too many clothes, so they just get put over there. This might be significant to what you're going through in your journey. Like I know we're doing a Synastry reading, but there could be something important about your own journey. Oh my goodness, it was at the bottom of all my books, so it's like dusty, like you are the one that takes all the dust from the others. But isn't that sort of kind of like the matriarchal role, the mother of the bloodline? You take everybody else's shit and have to make something out of it. But the book is the African Goddess Initiation. And along with that came this deck. It's from the same creator. It's like a whole thing. And the deck is African Goddess Rising. So I made a folder in my binder thing for all the stuff I'm learning for Goddess Initiation. I have, at this moment, literally no idea how that got there just out and about. But I do know that there are no coincidences and all things are for a reason. So, in connection to this, can you tell I have like a tiny bit of OCD because I have to pick all my books up before I can go back to what I was doing. Like, no, I can't just leave them on the floor. I'm like this, they must be stacked back up. Okay. That I am going to also be for this session pulling from my past life deck because that is the message I got in regards to you when it came to the Goddess Initiation. This one just says Goddess Initiation. The other one said African. That's just because, yeah, chocolate. Right? So for you, I will use the Dark Goddess. And I am, just because it got brought up to me in this moment with this reading with you, I don't have one deck that is not just the dark goddesses. Like for instance, these are all the ones that help you out of difficulties or help you take your power back. This is dark feminine energy. I don't have one that's like, for instance, Aphrodite or Venus or Demeter or Freya. This is Persephone. Like, so I'm gonna go with this for you today, but full of inspirational energy there, Steph. I've been doing frequency training, which is when you learn how to navigate your human radio. We pick up information all the time. So how does this work, or how can I explain this easily? When you're a baby and you have a soft spot, right? Your crown is always there, even when it closes up. But this is like your radio receiver, right? As soon as you get near another person, y'all start like pinging data, like y'all are pairing off of one another. So when you get in a relationship with somebody, you are tightly paired, right? Sometimes y'all finish each other's sentences when your synergy is going, when y'all energy is just really going together, it's really rocking. But when you and somebody start falling out, you notice things feel funny around this person. And even if you have no evidence, if they cheat or lie or something, you can feel it. It's because your radio picked up on that frequency, right? So with frequency training, I've been using tarot deck frequencies, crystal frequencies, just different vibrations so that I can learn how to tap in or pinpoint a frequency when I start hearing a message and downloading. But I didn't know that was going to start working with people. As soon as I tapped into your energy, everything's like, I should do this. I should do this. This will be fun, which is completely different than how I started. I started over here like, all right, it's worked. So thank you. You needed to know what your energy does to people. This really feels like you might have some stash stuff going on, and we'll find out in a minute. So we are now going to get into the synastry part of this reading, and then the stuff that comes up that you need to know regarding this and the goddess thing. Um, I'll pull when the time comes. It might be during the chart reading or whatever, but it feels like they go together, almost like you are going through an initiation first so that you'll be prepared in order to initiate your partner. That's sort of dope though, right? Like, hey, boo, let me put your crown on, right? So I'm going to pull from 3 different decks right now. The Love Oracle, the Neon Love, which is not exactly my favorite, but I'll use it for 1 card because it's so mixed signaling, but some decks are sensitive. So if your person is ambivalent or there's somebody who has multiple feelings or thoughts going at a time, it's going to say, I am in love. I am running in polyamorous, like at the same time. And I hate that. No, I want to clear, but I guess maybe that's my issue. Maybe me not getting the clear answer and not wanting to see that there are 2 different ways that somebody can feel with me. So the last one is this Cosmic Insights. But that deck being like that is exactly why I'm pulling from 3. I'm going to pull from the first and keep them face down so I don't see them. And then I'm going to see what the cohesive answer is so I can tell you what the theme of this relationship is. Then we'll get into some past life and go from there. So what is the theme for Stef's current relationship? What is the theme or what are the main themes? The main themes. Like it's not just one, y'all got a lot going on. 2 cards from each deck. Can't make that up. Look what was on the bottom of synergy. We could achieve so much more together than we could individually. I guess that's what synergy is, right? When 2 energies come together and it creates a whole new design. I always call it like your megazord. Like when you're by yourself, you're just like a little Power Wheels or something. But when you get with your partner, y'all turn into Optimus Prime. Okay. So what are the themes of Stef's current connection? I find it weird because everything is no coincidence, right? But the fact that I ended my last session with these cards like months ago, but it was already still like waiting for the day when it was time to do your session. So that synergy card was being there. Because keep in mind, I rarely use these, haven't used these like since January maybe. And I didn't even use the synergy card, didn't even know it was in there. What are the main themes of this relationship? It's like to pull on camera now. Or just in general, because I can have them already pulled, but there's something about hearing me talk about a whole bunch of stuff and then the cards matching up with that is like, wow, this is real, as opposed to me having the cards out and then like, yes, I think about absolutely everything, all the details, especially now, since I know it's everything. Everything is connected and everything matters. And I just need to let myself flirt on these videos because there is something in what I'm saying, even if it doesn't resonate with me or make any sense, it is meant for me to say because it's going to trigger something in you that has already been going on in your life that lets you know that I'm just a radio and there's some cool shit going on here. So what past life does Steph's current relationship stem from? I'll still say it's probably, it would be something African or something Irish. shit. Older. This person was your spouse from Atlantis, which is funny because I just did a whole post a few days ago about Atlantis. So this means that you were also in Egypt in the Celtic places. This means that your history with this person started before the Garden of Eden. So Asia, or what is now known as Asia, used to be connected to a place called Lemuria or Mu, right? That was running or in function as Atlantis was up and coming at the same time that the Greek gods were sort of in control of everything. And I'm not referring to the Greek gods as when they were worshipped by the Romans, like when they had temples for Athena and stuff like that. No, I'm talking about the storylines where it actually was like Zeus turning into a bird to hunt down a bird. You know what I mean? Like those, their actual storylines. So during that time when you can change between shapes and your magic was available and you could see the 3D humans as well as the 5D ones that were able to build those pyramids with their minds and stuff. That's where your story with this person began. That's like really old. So this just led me back in War and Battle. So let me know if you need to know where the post that has a video from his channel called Spirit Science is, because it explains like the war and everything and how most of the people who were partners there got split in some way, shape, or form because the Martians started impersonating people, which leads to the reorganizing and recollecting of 4D stuff, right? So 3D is here, we're visible, solid, right? 5D, creating by thought. 4D is where both is possible. You're in a human, but you're starting to realize your manifesting ability. So what's going on this week, or what the theme it appears, is you reintegrating, reorganizing, and remembering the gifts that you have that work in the 4D, or the things that are happening in your dreams that are meant to be giving you signs about what's going on down here to help you better understand how to use your 4D gifts. How does being a human body in a place that is dense like this, not quite 5D because everything is so violent and so like right now, but with your risen consciousness, with your high vibration, you can think things into reality. Like, I have a petty example. Your vibration is different in every place you go to based upon the ley lines. Every timeline, you have a different energetic signature based upon the karma you had in that place from this life and other lives, right? So when I went to LA, if I thought of something, it was like, didn't know anything about any past Hollywood lives, right? But a petty example is I wanted to see a fraternity. We were riding around doing DoorDash one of them, right? But I was like, I want to see a real fraternity. I've never seen a fraternity row, and my mind has always been stuck on that, from the house bunny to Scream. Just I wanted to see fraternity row, and of course, that same day, like 2 hours later, got to see like them going to their parties and stuff, just doing the delivery in their area. But that's what I mean by fast manifestation. While you're a 3D person, but seeing it play upon the 4D, which is your canvas, the in between. So if you were in Atlantis, chances are you were learning. Oh, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to pull to see who you were and who he was. I'll just say, because if you were there, you were learning how to use your abilities depending on whether you were a Nicole. A Nicole is a teacher. A Mayan. A Mayan are the naturally gifted ones, like the indigenous ones is what they ended up being. And then there were the lemurs, the Lemurian people from Asia. I'm going to lean towards you being a part of the Lemurians, but let's see, because I was sort of jammed up on that Celtic and African thing. But no, you lived through all of them. The furthest back, yeah, that's wild. I rarely meet souls that are this old. So, who was Stef during this time period? Was Stef during this time period? Ooh, oh, never mind. I love when I was about to exit separately and they already gave me the answer. And then look, just in case I wanted to doubt, they gave me 2 pictures to let me know it's the same thing happening here. So your spouse was an architect, a builder. Uh, designer, writer, somebody probably that worked with Toph, but you were in charge of law, like balance, legal stuff is what you were in charge of. But it feels like there were these kind of people on each tier, like representatives for each tier. Because I'm trying to nail down where you were in there, but it seems like you might have had multiple incarnations during like this 1,000 or 2,000. I'm not sure exactly how long this period was, but you lived multiple lives during the time that all of this was going on. But he was an architect and a writer, somebody who kept up with details. And like you could have cataloged them, because look, it's lawyer for you, but just keep in charge of balance, watching over everything. And it also sort of feels like making sure the seasons went along as they needed to. Because I started seeing like Fern Gully. Have you ever seen the movie Fern Gully? I love that movie. Just like when the leaves need to turn brown, when this needs to do this, like in charge of making sure that everything is running the way it needs to. So either way, you guys were both in power positions. Now, what are the themes of this relationship? Hold on, let me take these out because when I'm not staring at the screen, messes me up a little bit on this. The themes of the relationship. Looking all at the same time. Ooh, messy is the theme of this relationship. So it doesn't look like y'all are together right now. It's complicated. That's what I heard. It's complicated. It's like y'all are always together, even when y'all are apart, because y'all feel like y'all are destined to be together. But sometimes y'all are not actually together. And right now it feels like y'all are not actually together. Like y'all are giving each other space. So if that's the case, I need to pull now for what message would Stef's guy like her to know at this time? What is he not sharing, but he would consciously like her to know? Doing this from the In the Shadows and Hidden Truth deck. It's just like little statements. Give me some messages. Wow. All of this is no bueno. It looks like they messed it up, maybe. Y'all have a lot of differences. But like it's misunderstanding this, like we are not even speaking the same language. I'm speaking French and you're speaking like Swahili. That's how difficult. It's not even like French and Spanish or another Latin-based language. Y'all are just like, somebody's jealous though. And it's like the other person doesn't understand like the issues. But the person who's jealous has their own insecurities because they at some part or piece know that y'all are not equally yoked or on the same vibration. It's like somebody looks up to the other one a little bit more as like the good person in a relationship, and that's causing a disconnect. Does anybody have heavy earth sign energy? We're about to find out when I look at this chart. But I said, giving it time or give it time. Everything is in divine timing. Let things flow. Because there's a lot of love here. So at least love is the theme, right? Opening your heart, learning how to open your heart, learning unconditional love, like learning to give somebody space when they need it, even though you want to be with them and you don't want them to find anybody else or possibly not want to be with you when y'all take a break. Still being able to say, I'm going to let you go to figure that out. And if you're not meant to be with me, catch your next lifetime. That's the level of unconditional love y'all are supposed to be reaching. But this is giving hella twin flame dynamic, I'm gonna say, because one person is like sort of self-focused, like they don't know how to think like a partner. So part of this reading I'm getting is gonna give you like the closure you needed on several things that you did not understand about this relationship. So I lost myself for a while was one of the messages. No, I crossed the line with you. I hope I will see you soon sometimes. Hold on. I hope I will see you soon again sometime. Ah, sometimes I hear your voice, right? But then just because guys are guys, I'm so attracted to you, as in here. But I'm scared it's too late. Yes, I know we have a soul connection. Feels like flubbed. Then starting to realize that a little bit now. Like, damn, but it's me. I'm so selfish. I'm so insecure. Like, I love you, but I don't know how to open my heart fully. It's like, Steph, you're willing to grow, and this person has a fear of growing or being anything other than what they've already been. It's like they want it, but they don't want to step up to be what they need to be. Because this earth sign is right next to the give it time, but that plant there has me thinking about growth. Even the earth sign part, there is a lack of growth, but that is the theme of the relationship: growth. Getting through your incompatibilities and inabilities, or I'm sorry, your differences, your incompatibilities or differences in self-expression, the way you talk to each other, how you listen. It feels like it's important, like somebody needs to listen. Uh, but then also unconditional love, forgiveness, faith, but faith in love as a, if you let something go, or the fact that there could be a relationship that actually does last to the end. In the case of your partner, I want to say, feels like maybe he saw some unhealthy dynamics when he was a child. And keep in mind, I have the charts pulled up, but I didn't look at it because I don't like to tap in before I get here. But I'm getting that maybe like his parents fought or something. Do y'all fight? Does he hate fighting? Does he repeat the fighting? It's just something that he saw about relationships makes him scared to ever give that much to somebody, like a fear of giving away his power. Like he's seen somebody get into a relationship, or even maybe multiple people get into relationships and feel like, oh my goodness, as soon as they got in this relationship, they lost their power. I never want to give so much of myself that I don't want to be without a person when I'm losing myself. Feels like something that is running in his mind. So let's get freaking started. Let me hold on. Let me make sure I got the right chart on the screen. So, all right, about to share now. Here you guys are. So I entered both of your information, and you said around 5 a.m. for his time, but you didn't have the exact time. So initially, I put in 5:15, but I was like, the time determines the rising. Your rising is your whole storyline, the way the houses line up, who you are becoming, and all that. And it's such an important part, and it changes every 30 minutes, right? I would not feel secure in just picking a rising without the accurate time. So it's going to be easier for me to focus on the fact that you have your rising and all your information and how you impact each other's energies than for me to have his houses and his time and it be wrong. You know what I mean? Let's go with accuracy over knowing the ascended. We can guess it. Can I hold on? Can I pull for that? I've never pulled to see. Why not, right? If I'm able to just pull a rabbit out of a hat all the time, let's see what answer I can get here. What is Steph's guy's rising? What is his rising? Let me try it. Why not, right? What's his rising sign? I'll pick the Akashic Tarot for this one. Cancer rising? It's going to either be Cancer or Leo rising. If it's Leo rising, he's in your 7th or 8th house, which means he's meant to be your partner. If it's 7th, right? or is meant to be a deep-rooted lesson, which could end in you guys merging together, or you learning a lesson that changes you at a soul level. That'll probably help in even way, but those are the differences there. But if it's Cancer rising, this is somebody who wants to learn what family is, how to be in a family. And for you, this would be somebody who's rising to end up in your everyday life, or somebody who's going to be an open enemy or spouse. So either way, whether it's Cancer or Leo, there's a very good chance that this person's rising sign, and you can look this up in Synastry overlays if you'd like to see 1,000 definitions like I like to do. Like I want to make sure this is at everyone, right? But rising into your 7th house, which would be lovely because if his rising was conjunct your moon, that's past life spouse, past life family. I'm feeling really good on that accuracy. Now, hold on, I'm curious. Didn't, because I told you I don't like to look at the charts ahead of time. Let's see if I add the 515 in, what the rising ends up being. See, that's why I ain't do it. The 5:15 a.m. Was it supposed to be a.m.? Let me check your. That's an old message. Hold on, I done scooted all down your message, girl. I ain't even get to read that yet. Hold on. You did say a.m. So if it had been behind that, yeah, I'm not gonna go with that. But it looks like I don't know. That's why I never did that before. I'm gonna say it looks like, but it could be picking up on a Cancer degree or something that's deeper. I'm not gonna worry myself. Just know that even if it had been that Sag, right, that would have put his descendant in your 5th house. That's the house of Leo. I don't know, girl. So let's get into this. Where can, oh, Atlantis. I'm like, hold on. Where would I start? I would start by adding Atlantis. You can find any asteroid down here, just in the bottom. Sometimes I end up like scrolling through here and going to click the ones that get my attention randomly. Like, what are you? And then I look it up afterwards. It ends up resonating. So that's a little cool thing you can do. My mom said, like Atlantis, is that what I came here for? 1198. Okay. I gotta do this again. So, and boom. Atlantis is right here in your 12th house of unconscious and past lives with your soulmate asteroid, right? And I just told you that anything that's conjunct your moon means what? Past life family, right? So you have a contract together, and I'm saying this because this energy for you guys is in Capricorn. This means that your Saturn rules it. You have your Saturn in your 2nd house, so you want to reclaim what you lost in other lifetimes because you have it in Pisces. It's next to Venus. That means you wanted to reclaim your lover, your partner from other lifetimes because that is a part of what you were owed. Like what you came to this planet with, and you're like, yeah, I just like to collect my baby back if I could, and then we'll just be out of here. That's the energy, like you were bailing him out of something. So I am tickled. His South Node is in the 3rd house. That's communication, the twin house, thinking, speaking, that thing I said you guys had an issue with. But his contract, the Saturn that I was going to check to see what y'all were bound to, his is in Aries, which is bound to self. So that's where that self, do I want to say serving, focused on self, taking care of self comes in? But it seems like it's also because the South Node is here. When your Saturn is next to your South Node, you have to be bound to this old energy of who you used to be in another life, the part you're working through, until around 28, 30. That means his karma was a little bit longer, which would explain why you guys are possibly like not together right now. Like there's a lot of stuff he has to work through in regards to his thoughts of himself. So there we got a little bit of the insecurity too, right? But his North Node, where he's growing towards, is next to your part of fortune, your sprinkle of luck, your house of belief systems and what you've learned in this life. And with it being in the sign of Libra, he's growing towards releasing all those beliefs that it's safer to be by himself, bound in his own mind, which is very likely a pattern learned from childhood, to learning to talk things over with you, no matter how uncomfortable they are, because you sort of ease his mind. Or you sort of, yeah, your part of fortune, your sprinkle of luck, the fact that you learn so quickly from other people, like if you get advice from people or you go look up videos on something, if you're into like couples therapy or you start looking that up to figure out how to make your relationship work, the information that you get, you are able to share or implement in a way that starts to open him up. And then he starts to see the wisdom or the blessing in having a partner. It's like whatever happened in his childhood, he did not see the blessing in having a relationship. It was safer to be single and free. It looks like a lot of that energy has to do with his father. So when everybody was in Atlantis, those three groups, right? They were chilling, minding their business harmoniously. And then one day the Martians blew up their planet and decided to just spaceship their way down here. When that other group came in, they started imprisoning everybody else because they were the only ones that were into war. That was their thing. They were, you really need to watch that link, right? So the Martians who were male took a lot of the females and they were forced to be together in relationships, right? It seems like that would be the storyline for your partner's parents and why they had a difficult relationship or whatever the dynamic was in this life was rocky or what it was. It was a dude who stole a bride and then a bride that had to no choice but to be there and that dynamic still having to be worked out between them. But having a child, and this would still be during that Atlantis era, of a dad who has kidnapped or imprisoned the mother, imagine the dynamic in that household. That's what he relived in this life to set the basis for his foundation, for what he's seeking. That's also a little bit why in his mind there's like a pedestal that family and love and legacy and all that stuff is on. Like the idea of being a husband, even if it's not conscious, because we don't know what house this is in for you, the idea of being a husband is important to him. So this is Jupiter next to your ascendant is usually like husband, is what I see with this. And Neptune next to that would be past life husband, past life spouse. That's your relationship. That is what y'all are known for. In every life, in some way, shape, or form, y'all are either siblings, which looks like the very last life y'all might have been. But even becoming siblings, y'all were learning to get back to the vibration of unconditional love so that when you become romantic partners, y'all could rise to that again. And then you would like be reborn as like actual twins and not just siblings. Like there's a, I don't want to say caste, but there's like levels that you have to go through in ascension per life in order for you to get back to the tier of like twin flames or divine partners. So this is given definitely more twin flame because of the Gemini energy, right? But also Pluto on Pluto, that's fire on fire. With him having his Yeshua and his Venus, his Christ spark in Scorpio, this means he has to burn away the pain for his fire to go, whew, or a lot of his endeavors, his thoughts, his conquest, what he earns from, what he builds his life upon is the idea that you only gain from pain. That is what's going to have to be changed during this growth process. Like you can turn pain into power needs to be the next step. So as far as you guys are concerned and what y'all are meant to be in this life, there's his sun next to your Jupiter, right? This is a past life relationship that deals with abusive dynamics, jealousy, a lot of love, a person afraid of love. his healing energy changing your ideas about how you feel about relationship, and your healing energy down here is being a part of what you learned during childhood. Like whatever happened in your childhood, you got equipped to deal with what he's coming with his wound, with his partnership issues. His Lilith in your seventh house means a lot of people. Oh, that's the jealousy. It's him. So it seems like his sexiness, like, how would I put this? He looks at you in a certain way. And that's clear because remember that card popped up that said, I'm so attracted to you. It's like no matter how mad he is or what he's going through on his own, he looks at you and he's still like, baby girl. But the fact that he feels like that about you fucks with his mind a little bit. Like he thinks you're so hot and he's like, you're this woman to him. They sort of nervous that anybody comes around you feels the same way he feels, because how could they not? Because you're so hot. That's how he feels. So his Lilith next to your Mars means sometimes he's going to come against your power, your sexuality, the thing that he loves the most about you, because he doesn't want anybody else to see it, because there's a feeling somewhere deep inside that he's not good enough to be the person that he came to be in this life. But that's the whole goal of this. So, in conclusion, free will, right? But you guys came to work through all this stuff for both of your bloodlines to come into a harmonious union. If he was Sag rising, that's still husband rising. If it was Capricorn rising, that's Saturn rising. It still has to do with the contract he had to fix with you. If it was Aquarius rising, that is a team member or learning to be a partner. So if those were the bases, and then it was a Cancer or a Leo degree, all roads lead to he gonna face this in this life one way or the other. You have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for your patience.